Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. You know, I got to update that one of these days because Victor Korchev doesn't really hang out on our panel very much these days. Not because I don't allow him or anything. It's just because he's working hard on his gaming stuff. And let me tell you, it's work. How do I know? Because I've been writing some stuff for Grimm over the past week, and telling you, man, it's very painstaking stuff. It really is. Coming up with good stuff for you to adventure in and play in it's not always easy, even if you have the best of intentions and the best of ideas. My biggest hurdle writing anything for any game is all the statistics stuff. You know, I can generate adventures by the ton, you know, scenarios and everything else, but I have a hard time with visualizing layouts as far as where stuff goes. So I usually ask people, like, well, send me a map and with some numbered locations on it, and then I can like just fill in what's at those locations. So what does Grimm do? He sends me blank maps. So I'm like, thank you, Grimm. That's totally not what I asked for, but that's okay. We worked with it. I'm getting it done. I feel better. It's still hard though. So everybody who's here knows my channel is a pop culture channel, right? We talk about toys, we talk about video games, we talk about role-playing games, we talk about television, we talk about movies. We pretty much talk about everything that's pop culture-y. Now, we really don't talk about cosplaying very much because I know nothing about cosplay other than I like seeing pretty women who do it. So, but since most of those women don't want to, you know, come hang out with us on the channel or advise us or anything, we don't really get into that area very much. And it's a shame because they're gorgeous. I mean, yes, I understand it's fake. You know, that even the boobage and everything else that they wear, it's prosthetic and it's just designed to look nice in a costume, but still, it's the imagination, you know, and that's what we need. We need imagination. We need escape. We need to get away from reality for a little bit, because the reality is, and we can't avoid this, is the fact that we got credit card companies who are trying to tell us what we can and can't have based on their morality. And I mean, I understand that it originally started with collective shout, you know, jumping into the credit card companies' asses to get these changes implemented. But let's be real for a minute. I mean, the credit card companies are big money institutions. They don't have to listen to these people, but they choose to. They chose to take their advice and start limiting what their funds could be used for, what our funds could be used for. And this has been something we've covered before. It's been going on for like 4 weeks now, and it's like maybe we get some light at the end of the tunnel. I hope so. But let's get some folks on to talk about it, because this is a hot button topic. I assure you that's not the only thing we have to talk about today. We do have a special guest on. We're going to be talking about some of his stuff too. We do have a little bit of comedy here and there to enjoy. But yeah, this is something, you know, I told it to my chat not too long ago. I said, man, this is popping up so frequently now. This is the news. We actually have to we actually have to do something about this. We actually have to report on this because it's the biggest thing in our space right now. It's the biggest thing that's going to affect our space. Because even if they haven't gotten to something that you like yet, they will. All right, Mr. Grimm, good to see you. Mr. Castor, good to see you.
Hello.
Mr. John.
Hello.
Mr. Patty.
Yo.
Hunter ruins everything, but we like him on the show.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, And our special guest for today, Yang Zhao. I never
Afternoon.
get that right.
Bald!
Close enough.
Yeah, get a move on, long-haired freaky people. This is now a baldy neighborhood.
Hey, I'll have
Hey,
you know,
yeah.
I got my once a year haircut this week, so I look good. But let's see. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. Mercurius for Australian $1. Hey man, thank you very much. I always appreciate your donations. So let me see. What's good for this? Oh, okay. Well, apparently we have some new guidelines on YouTube, so we can actually say this early in the show.
Fuck you!
There we go. That's not a comment against you, Mercurius. It's just us testing it out. So I'll see later on if I got demonetized for that. Patty for $5. This episode now sponsored by White Dwarf Summer. Get it before Visa tells you can't. That's it. Yes. All right. Well, Patty, let me
The link in the private chat, because I don't think I could put the link into the YouTube in case anybody wants to get swag like this. I mean, look at this. It's got sharks. It's got dice. It's got palm leaves. It's awesome. I bought a shirt.
Cool. And I will put that link up here. And let's get you your clip, sir. Let's find something good.
With the beans.
You want beans?
There was one that you played the last time that I was on that it gets me every time.
Was it the pencil?
The lockpick guy. The lockpick guy.
Oh, the lockpick guy. Yeah.
Oh, you motherfucker! Oh, shit! God damn it! Same shit, different day!
I love that guy. I love that guy.
That is still one of the few content creators that brings a smile to my face every time I see him, because he is still living his best life.
Yes, he
My
is.
favorite one, dude. It's so good.
And let's see. What is Magnificent Devil? Dude, I love having you in the chat. He says, this isn't the first time they've come after video games. It won't be the last. Welcome to Gamergate 3. Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I
lived-
told you it was number 3.
Yeah, I've lived through all the other times when they came after games, including, the first time when it was like, MK was the thing they were going after. But JP says the idea that an individual vendor could somehow have an impact on a financial institution's reputation is laughable. It's like blaming Corel China for people becoming fat because they use the plate. Yeah.
China.
China.
I have a response to this, but please.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. China.
China, that's where the fun is at. China, that's where the fun is.
There we go. I don't get to do that one very often. And, honestly, I'm starting to like our... Hey, wait a minute! We had Daniel in the back the whole time! Dude, I'm glad you're here.
He finally left his moonshine still long enough to join us.
Well, we finally got a topic that he can unleash himself on, and it isn't one of us. But
I don't do too much unleashing. Come on now, I ain't that bad a guy. And besides, I did a reaction to Pointy Hat this morning that has plenty of unleashing in it.
oh, I imagine. Yeah, Patty said he was laughing because every time he becomes a subject of one of your videos, he just grins. So.
It's been a while. I think I'm usually on there for the usual things. Like, oh.
I don't think I've made his shit list yet, so I think I'm doing okay. But maybe that's because I'm just not offensive enough, or I don't have controversial opinions. Oh my gosh, Thaco was the greatest ever. No, wait a minute, I'd say that.
Well, that's a whole thing going on in X right now.
I was gonna say, can I just
Patty
send
usually
myself
ends up being on the good side.
Yeah, can
That's
I just
true.
send myself to JP Got Rockets here real quick about my shirt?
Oh, okay. Patty's Hawaiian.
I wear dirty work shirts day in and day out. I wear this and it goes in the wash. Like, this thing exists on my person. Unless I'm wearing like the Paladon shirt or the actual White Dwarf Summer that's got the Elf Bikini Babe on it. This is probably one of the most comfy shirts I have owned. And I've washed it so many times in like the 2 months that I've owned it that it's like soft now. It's almost like it's like pajama soft with how many times I've washed it.
It looks pajama. I thought it was a pajama top at first.
No,
But
it's a Hawaiian shirt. I want to make more of these. I have an idea for one that's probably going to blow the socks off of everyone on this panel. I just need to get the time to make it.
And yes, Just a Passerby has a request for Grim that I also second. Yes, if you can arrange for some hot cosplayers to join us on the panel, that would be nice. I mean, it wouldn't be quite a sausage fest anymore.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
You just need to make sure that MasterCard consents, Grim.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you forgot about the one person that needs your consent.
all chats
that's why I use slave. That's why I use Slave Card instead of Mastercard. It just obeys. That's what I tell it to.
all my donations that day will be denied because our content is filthy. But seriously,
They forgot the safe word.
Yeah, no kidding. So, okay. I don't know how to get everybody not to talk all at once on this. But so I guess I have to go around. So it may take a little time. So, be brief with your answers, but, be sure and get out what you feel about it. But Grim, let's start with you. What do you think about all this credit card stuff? Oh, and keep in mind, apparently Trump has signed an executive order that is hitting this, but it's not signed into law, so it could be undone, which bothers me. But we'll get to that. But Grim, let's start with you.
So, do you want me to talk about the situation generally, or do you want me to talk about the executive order part now?
You know what? I mean, do as you see fit there. If you have information on both,
I will hold off on the executive order until we get to that. Yeah, okay. This isn't really anything new, particularly. It's spreading.
Yes.
It always used to be done to the adult industry, to adult performers, people like that. They were the first victims to get debanked, and that always seems to be the way. It starts with things like that they think they can get away with, and then it spreads to the point where it becomes unacceptable to enough people to push back on it. But it's nothing new. What they do with adult sites and so on is that they push you onto secondary payment processors who are less reliable, more expensive. So it's a way of gouging more money out of you, basically. Their excuse is supposedly adult-related purchases are high risk, which I don't think is as true as it may have been in the past, because the internet and its anonymity, means you've got plausible deniability if you buy anything naughty. So I don't think that's the risk anymore, but that's the excuse.
I have been noticing that cryptocurrency has started to become more acceptable. So.
Yeah, it lacks the necessary usability to replace it. What I'm surprised by was the sort of new thought knocking around in my head around all this is if Steam and Itch and so on say bye-bye to any sort of adult content whatsoever, you've got to wonder why a site like, I don't know, Newtaku or something hasn't stepped into that space to suck up all those fap bucks. The Steam will now be missing out on, they're already a storefront. They already take payments via different means. It would be easy. So I'm wondering why a competitor hasn't leapt into the space. But yeah, it's just my perspective is this is nothing new. We saw it happen before in the first Gamergate. It's happened to the adult industry since forever. It's spreading. Yeah, so that's my piece for now.
Okay, Patty, you've been burning on this one, so go ahead.
Oh man, so I would like to talk about the pushing back on the adult industry, because one of the biggest memes floating around right now is that Visa and MasterCard, they've got the meme where it's turning a blind eye, having so it's Visa, MasterCard, and it's all angry at Itch and Steam. It's got the angry sunflower from Cuphead. And then the next one is I don't know who this lady is, but I guess she's an OnlyFans star who waited till the minute she turned 18 to make
Little Tay. That's who you're talking about.
And then MasterCard's it's like the bashful, turning a blind eye sunflower or whatever. And then I think about a lot of the uproar, because it was like, oh, conservatives want to ban Pornhub, and no, we didn't want to ban Pornhub. We wanted to make it harder to access for kids, and yes, there's a conversation to be had about that. But payment processors, as far as we know, have no qualms with continuing to accept or make payments happen in terms of things for like OnlyFans, Pornhub, so on and so forth. So, while I would admit that censorious practices, as in things that make it harder to get a hold of lewd or lascivious subjects to the public, have been a thing of typical conservatorship, that I don't believe the debanking is a part of that. I mean, especially considering the amount of conservative people that I've seen support the recent executive order that would stop payment processors and FDIC insured banking institutions from being able to decide who can and cannot
use whatever services they like.
Use not necessarily whatever services. They have to be FDIC insured, from what I understand is, but that they, so long as they're doing so legally, because of course you can't get away with CP. They shut down with that.
No.
But yeah, so long as you're not doing stuff like that, you should be able to participate in the economy as you see fit.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. But Yang, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And we have precedents for this, like with telephone companies, right? You could be doing it for all sorts of nefarious purposes, or you could be calling grandma. We've settled the law a long time ago that telephone companies, since they're a common carrier, cannot boot anyone for legal activity. They can boot you for not paying, and they can boot you for illegal activity. But not for legal. And we need that with financial institutions, because this goes beyond MasterCard and Visa. They've been debanking people for 10 years because they don't like your politics, because some activists will call up and say, hey, why do you have this fascist, Nazi, whatever on there? We need to get back to a level playing field. Like, I would love to see all the communists debanked, but I'm willing to say, hey, we got to live in a country with a fair baseline, and okay, even commies get bank accounts and credit cards. But that's that. And to me, this is worse than any of the anti-video game crusades were before, because before it was more just against the industry itself, and you would have other companies stepping in, like you were saying. I think it was you who were saying, like, why hasn't some other company stepped in to get the money where that Steam is leaving on the table? But I don't think it's really a Steam problem. I think it's their credit card processors have said, you will do this or else, because Steam didn't have a problem with this before, through the worst of the SJW years, but they're doing it now. So something else is going on there. It would have been nice to see a company like Steam or something start to take alternative payment like Bitcoin, even though I agree with Grim, Bitcoin's not quite there. I think if more places started to accept it, it may have a larger impact economically.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel, you look like you're ready to go get loose on this.
Well, I've always of two minds on a lot of things. I don't have really any issue with age verification and that sort of thing. I know a few people do. And I don't take the whole nonsense argument of, well, just because people can get around it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Right.
But as far as payment processors, this is old hat in the gun industry. Like in
I didn't even think about that.
And it's been around forever. And really in American politics, it's kind of old hat now too, because it was one leg of the Obama administration's targeting of 501c3s that they didn't agree with. is they tried to interfere with the ability to process payments for donations. And that kind of brings it to that executive order, which, for those not, the executive order is there because they're going to try and pass a law more than likely. And they want to have an immediate effect to put a stop on this until Congress makes a decision. Because it's got to go through the whole legislative process. They don't want to wait for that. But anytime you start interfering with the free exchange of capital between willing participants, I've got a serious problem with that. Yeah, you want to protect and make sure that there's not CP and that sort of thing out there, but that's not the responsibility of the payment processor. You are simply a person who facilitates the moving of money from one place to another.
Yeah.
The people who are responsible for it are the people who are involved in the transaction. If you want to shut down a website, you need to go after that website and tell us what they did wrong and tell us where it went. If you want to go after a game, you need to tell me why that game violated a law somewhere and this is no longer a free exchange. And if you want to put regulations on Steam or Itch or anybody else to say you have to go through reasonable steps to verify that somebody of legal age is purchasing games, do it like a rated R movie. Change the M rating on games to be something where you require identification. And if you can't put in an ID, you can't download the game. If you're on Steam, you can do that, and that's perfectly reasonable. But this is not a place where the payment processors are the ones who should be stepping in. But we are protected by one piece of reality here, and that is that we are not a focal point. We're not a big part of the idea. Both sides of the aisle are going to want to stop this over something like video games, because they want to use this later against their political rivals for something like for instance, the left wants to use it against gun manufacturers, and they're not going to let video games take this to the Supreme Court and pull that card out of their deck when they could stop it right now, get some brownie points, get some voter, get some good press, and then still have it in the deck to try and play against Remington later on down the line. And that plays well for both sides of the aisle.
Well, there is one other thing, too, to consider about all the age verification stuff that kind of makes me uncomfortable, and that is the fact that some countries are actually starting to debate having actual physical IDs with, pictures and all this other stuff as part of their verification process. And we know that in the past that stuff like that has been used to dox users of services.
Yep. Or to form nice little government lists about people.
Exactly. John, you got something to say?
Well, this whole thing is the collective shout. This is even an American thing. Collective Shout's based in Australia. Collective Shout's major defender, that UPIC or whatever they're called, they're based in Australia. So someone asked in the chat, who benefits? Edward Kopp did. I think this is all coming out of China. Because they have basically front door access into Australia at this point. But they could, I see this as trying to disrupt American culture, because it's okay. Yeah, they're going to start with the video game, but what's next?
Yeah,
they're gonna do. You can't buy an R-rated movie now because it's got some Tata in it.
Yeah, the Magnificent Devil has a great point here. It says a lot of this push to require digital ID to eliminate all anonymity and due process online to allow warrantless search and seizure. Yes, I agree.
I
Caster?
think that's bridged too far, honestly.
It might seem like it now, but 10, 15 years time, depending on how malleable the government is and how malleable the people are, it's not that It's not that hard to believe. I mean,
Slippery slope.
yeah, it is. It's like once you open this door, it's like, you can't close it.
So the counter argument here, I think, comes a couple of different ways. In that, so the credit card companies are companies, corporations are people, apparently, and so they can argue that they have the right to associate or not associate with anyone they want. They will argue that they have the right to refuse service, or to refuse a transaction. I don't know what the law is in the US around transactions, but here in the UK, you can refuse a legitimate transaction with legal tender if you want to. So that kind of stopped people paying their parking fines with pennies, things like that, because you could just refuse. So they're going to argue that it is their right to associate or not associate, to have and enforce their terms of service, and that this doesn't really have anything to do with government, and it's an impingement on their freedom of association and free expression, because apparently money is speech as well. That will probably be the argument from the companies. Quite why they're so determined to do this, I really don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I preferred it when capitalists were predictable and just went for the money.
Oh. Patty, you want to jump in on this too, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Grim made an excellent point there, because we had Supreme Court decisions and law-abiding citizens refuse to bake cakes, and a lot of people said you're not allowed to deny services to people because of these reasons, and a lot of people went up in arms and said, "You will bake that cake. You will bake that cake." Meanwhile, we said, no, it's your right of expression to not say things as well. So when we make the conversation about, I wish we would make things more about like money and the making money and doing business. It's like you don't. It's a hard pill to swallow, because if we open the door to saying that MasterCard has the right to say, and ideally I do say MasterCard, go ahead, tell people that they're not allowed to bank with you, because the way that I see it, there are tons of options. Those other payment processors that cost more, they cost more because they don't get business. And if everybody said, well, screw you, MasterCard, we're going to go to this other payment processor, they would get so much supply that they could lower their processing fees. And that's where we're at. Where I get in trouble, where I really get fucked up over this whole thing is, we have these big banks that the US government has said these banks are too big to fail. Well, now the government and taxpayer dollars are subsidizing these banks. So while normally I would say, MasterCard, you have the right to deny services as a business, I also get squeamish when I say, oh, no, I've subsidized your business when you went through hard times. When I went through hard times and I was out on the street, I didn't have government bailout. I didn't have taxpayer bailouts. I had to get myself out of the streets. Meanwhile, MasterCard got that benefit, and now they're going to tell me that I can't bank with them because I have wrongthink. So they need to shit or get off the pot. If they don't like this this executive order, if they want to fight in the courts or do whatever and fight back and say that no, we reserve the right to refuse service, then congratulations, you now owe the taxpayers all of their back money. Whether that's Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, all of those corporations that ever received any sort of federal bailout, I think they should be required to owe that money back, because you don't deserve to be subsidized by the people you're not willing to serve.
Well, the thing that's bothering me is, like, ever since this stuff started, I'm starting to see more and more countries starting to try to legislate more and more about age verification. Now they're like actually wanting to allow snooping chats and other things, and I'm just kind of like, what is going on with the world? We're suddenly turning into a police state where they're wanting to monitor every single aspect of people's lives digitally. And I'm just like, don't we do this enough already with the cameras everywhere? And
right, the Five Eyes.
The reality is,
reality is a lot of these
Yeah.
governments do want to be able to have controls over what people can and cannot say. There is this idea that they want to be able to stamp down on any, troublemakers. And you're kind of seeing this popping up all over the place. And it's really no surprise. You look at the state of the world that we have. It used to be that it would be a couple of major networks would go and set the narratives that the people were allowed to see and think. And now you're seeing that, well, with all these voices that are popping up and coming out and saying things that governments don't want to hear, it's kind of no surprise to see that there are these efforts coming along, because you look at the ratings with major media. You look at the ratings for CNN, MSNBC, Fox, etc. Channel 4, whatever your local major news affiliates are. They don't have the same sort of ability to set narratives that they once did 20 years ago.
I think there are real issues that I think they're trying to address, but they're using the methods of the previous century. Like, it is a problem that we don't have a common understanding of reality. Everyone's in their own little postmodernist bubble, by and large. And that is an issue, but I don't think you solve it by centralized state force. I don't think that's how you fix it.
No, I agree.
And they're using 20th century solutions on 21st century problems.
Yeah,
true.
And
Daniel, I can see you want to hit this too. So. You're muted, by the way.
Sorry, I'm muted for the wind chimes.
I understand.
Every time the wind picks up, it gets loud back here. But that is it's always a problem. I mean, legislation is always a good 10 years behind anything that's going on, just because government moves slow, and government's supposed to move slow, and it'd be nice if it could move slower. But that's at least in America, that's the way our system is set up. But there's a parallel argument with these payment processors to the same thing we've come into with social media and YouTube and various other things. And that is, if you want to have the freedom of association to say, I am going to deny a transaction, the right to refuse service is absolutely a right. I can tell you, get out of my store, you're not buying my stuff. But the second that you decide to step into that realm, you are now responsible for your transactions. Just like the publisher versus platform argument, where if I'm a platform and I'm just facilitating communication, I can't be responsible for what people say on my platform, like Bell South, or like the any of the Ma Bells really, or Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. The second I start stepping in and heavily curtailing speech, especially when it's outside of things that are objectively illegal, I have moved from platform to publisher, and now I'm responsible for what gets said.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing should hold true for a payment processor. You're not responsible when somebody goes and does very bad things with a firearm, because all you did was facilitate moving money from one person to another in a legal transaction. But the second you step in and say, we're not going to allow you to buy guns, we're not going to allow you to buy violent video games, we're not going to allow you to be on OnlyFans or whatever, you have to then say, well, now you're an active party to the transaction. And if you facilitate the purchase of a stolen car or a stolen stereo over eBay, now you as a payment processor should be held responsible for the transfer of that stolen property, whether you knew or not, because you decided to step out of the realm of a simple facilitator into an active participant in those transactions.
Yeah. Hunter, you haven't said anything yet, so go ahead.
Well, I mean, I keep saying that. I still think about this. Is all just making me think about in the late '90s, early 2000s, when it was all the rage about talking about how violent music and violent video games was corrupting the teenage youth. I mean, I heard it a lot because you all probably may have seen this in elementary schools from back in the day. My dad was once in charge of the Watchdog Dad program that helped to facilitate fathers in schools, and it was successful at the time it was around. He eventually did end up stepping down and went to go do his own thing, but but I would actually help my dad with a lot of the conventions he would go to, and I would see these other like people that were pushing the like, oh, don't listen to violent music, don't play these crazy violent video games, and of course that all ends up dying down after a while. But then I'm also thinking about because Iron and Daniel both made points about people being deplatformed. Well, 2 days ago, the Archcast posted that PayPal removed him from their platform for
That's right.
unusual activities. That was all they said, was unusual activities, and they deplatformed him from being able to use PayPal again. And so, and I'm like, I mostly disagree with it. I'm not going to I can't stand here and just rattle off because it's like there are obviously guys in this chat that are smarter than me when it comes to a lot of this stuff. When it comes to like the business side of things, I am as unintelligent as they come in that regard. I am a simple man that lives in an RV and plays TTRPGs. That's all I am for the most part. But I know what's right. I know what's wrong, and I'm mostly against all censorship from the get go. Now, now the age verification thing is a hit and miss in my opinion, because like I remember like when we go on Steam. And you could try to look at an M-rated game and ask for your date of birth to see if it'll let you in, and you can easily bypass that. So, it all comes down to like a lot of things that people point out. It's just parents don't want to do their job anymore, and they don't want to watch over their kids like they used to be. Like when I showed a CD or a video game to my parents, because again, strong Christian household I grew up in. Like I couldn't even play own Halo until like I turned 17. I would play it at my friend's house where we would have like the four squares all on the one TV. We're shooting at each other, but I couldn't own it until I turned. Yeah, I couldn't play it until I turned. I didn't actually own it until I turned 17. And even then, my parents were very strict about like what's in this M-rated game that we will allow or not allow. Because if it was like sex or nudity in it, that was a no-go for the most part. Wow. And so, yeah, but of course I ended up buying the explicit CDs with my own money because Hot Topic was the only place at the time I knew I could get explicit CDs at. So,
Christian fundamentalist. I remember having to struggle to play. I remember trying to take Gauntlet over to this childhood friend's house, and he didn't want to play it because the sorceress in the
I share that all the time when I say that reference.
Well, okay, so Salvus is what's...
I think that was just going to pop right up.
This is what's the middle ground that would satisfy... I mean, I'll be honest, and I think this is probably something everybody on the panel could live with, and that is, don't restrict what I want. What I want, if it doesn't hurt anybody, in turn, as long as it is not illegal, then there's no point in restricting it. I'm not a world-class pervert. I don't necessarily gotta have every type of disgusting simulator you want to think about on Steam. And I've seen some that are kind of make me flinch. I'm not even going to mention what they are. But they're on Steam. You could buy them. I choose not to because I don't want to interact with it. That's not what I want to put my money into, not even out of curiosity.
Yeah, and like I am a father, and I have a kid of my own. And like half the stuff I have, I wouldn't want my son to play. Like I'm not going to buy a copy of Vor from Drive-Thru-RPG and give that to my son to play. That's for sure.
Right. And it's like and Patty is a father. He's going to want to control what his children mess with. He's not going to want to keep things in the house that his children have access to that might be morally against his code of ethics. That's a parent's duty.
As I've got Chalt like on my bookshelf right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's not like they could read it, but Grim is not going to go and pay for the great big book of feet. Okay, that's not going to happen. No, see, that's not going to happen because he doesn't want to interact with that.
That's just, it was a gift.
Yeah, it was a gift.
Yeah, he's not going to plaster tabletop list posters all over preschools.
Yeah, no.
I bought all the copies of that feet book just so T-shirt couldn't have any.
Oh, such a horrible person! I'm gonna put
in the backyard.
I swear I'm gonna put out a Machinations of the Space Princess book that's gonna be all about feet, just for Grim and force him to publish it. But I'm serious. It's like
instead of fetal lands, it's fetal lands.
I guess.
But unfortunately for you, Grim is a publisher and he can decide not to.
That is true. He could choose not to. I mean, like,
Feet Freaks got cash. Yeah,
Yeah,
they can
that's
make
true.
It rain, so
Our money spends too, just like everybody else's. Furries spend money too. So, but I mean, what I'm basically getting down to is, I think a lot of this stuff comes from a helicopter parent culture, where either parents were too involved in what the kids were messing with, like in Hunter's case, where the parents were too obsessive over what the kids were doing and interested in, and kept intervening in things that should have been allowed to play out naturally or explore naturally. And in which case, now we have a culture of people who've grown up and they just, because they don't like something, they think that, the government, who is now mom and dad, should be allowed to step in and stop it all from happening. And they'll use whatever excuse they want to. Oh, it's for the kids. Oh, it's for women. Oh, it's for people of color or whatever. I mean, they'll use any excuse they want to try to legislate what you see, what you do, and what you can pay for. And I'm against all of that stuff. I mean,
I just want to put a reminder here that it was Al Gore's wife and a lot of Hillary Clinton that had a lot to do with the Satanic Panic and the parental advisory for music back then.
Oh yeah, I remember that stuff. I grew up in that.
It's really a lazy parent problem.
Yeah.
This comes from public school and the demand for free pre-care and all this other garbage that happens.
Mm-hmm.
It is your job to parent your child.
Yeah. They're not your friend.
Asking the government to step in and do it for you.
And I'll tell you what.
And speaking of which,
it's one thing to make something illegal. It's another thing to make something culturally unthinkable.
Mm-hmm.
That has a lot to deal with parents.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
It's even worse than parental laziness. I have a couple of friends who work in schools, secondary education, so teens, or used to, because they've quit because it was so terrible. And the problem is, when they try to discipline the kids in the school, the parents come in and have a go at the teachers. They don't want the teachers to discipline their kids. So it's not even laziness. They're willing to get off their ass and get involved because little Timmy got detention and they don't want him to. It's utterly perverse. It's weird.
They're legally not able to.
One, I don't want to work any harder. And two, I don't want to be wrong. So I don't want to work any harder.
What's
I'm
the
more scared of being wrong.
What's the meme? You got the meme where it's like, back in my day, and it's the parent and the teachers are all, why did you get this bad grade? And then it's like nowadays, and it's the student and the parents yelling at the teacher, why did my kid get this bad grade? Well, maybe because your kid's an idiot and didn't study, and you didn't make him study and didn't make him do his homework because you failed as a parent.
Yeah, and this
Devil, I love this. The agreement can only be process the payment and STF. Yes. Let's have Rick James say it.
Fuck your couch, nigga. Buy another one, you rich motherfucker. Fuck your couch, nigga. Fuck your couch. Darkness is.
There you go.
Yeah. And I was just chiming really quick. I want to highlight Edward Kopp's comment really quick that he posted about, because it ties into what we're just talking about. Like, in regards to and due to the most of the day's parents just being lazy and not protecting their kids properly, it's now affecting. The laws are now getting passed towards affecting the individual rights of people. And I'm what's what I'm looking for? I am a absolute individualist over a collectivist. I believe everyone is their own individual. Now, as a nation, we are like a collective, but we are still our own individual person with our own values, our own beliefs, and we just have to learn to fucking get along, basically. Excuse my language.
Nope, you're right.
Well, sure,
right.
but the problem is you have people who want to do nothing more than to stick your nose into other people's business. You have to deal with. You have to overcome that issue that you have people who will want to do nothing more than keep pestering you, who will refuse to leave you alone.
Oh, hold on just a moment. Savo, see me after the show. Okay.
Oh no.
No, but seriously though, and the thing that really bothers me about all this is the fact that a lot of this stuff, it's a case of, well, I don't like this, so I don't care if they do this. But the problem is, the further it goes, the more it's going to be, pushed and rationalized until eventually a lot of your individual freedoms don't exist.
Yeah,
and I don't want them to get I don't want them to get to that point with anybody, not myself, not any of you guys on the panel, not the kids coming up or anything. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting off with now you can't play this video game depending on the area you live in. Next is going to be you can't watch this movie at this theater because it's inappropriate. Next thing you know, it's going to be your favorite VTuber you like to watch. You can't watch her because her or him because they're not appropriate. It's just going to keep on. It's shit rolling downhill still until it finally hits the bottom and goes splat.
Yeah, Grim won't be able to buy alcohol anymore. Daniel won't be able to smoke cigars. Patty won't be able to buy head shine.
Guns.
Guns,
Yeah.
yes, those.
On the plus side, you always go to the bowling alley.
Yeah, Ironcaster will not be able to import Gunpla because somebody will say, well, those designs are just a little bit too racy.
Yeah.
I do
Jokes
wanna-
on them. We're learning a
Doing all
3D
of
printer.
I do
Jokes
wanna
on them. We're learning a 3D printer alongside all the gun boys.
Oh, don't worry. They'll come for your 3D printers eventually, or they'll find ways to lock them out of certain things. You watch, bud. It'll happen.
Oh, no, I already know what they're going to do with 3D printers.
Oh, what's that?
They already did.
Telltale molecules in the feeder, so they know who bought what from where. You can already do that. So,
Yeah,
Or-
they do that with printers, with
Yeah.
printers. They
Mhm.
already your printer's a Fed.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
And the other thing they can do too is also restrict, the material. I think it's whatever it is they use. Like to the point where it's kind of like, yeah, you can only buy so much of this material for your 3D printer by law.
Yep. I do want to give a big shout out because you guys know that I'm a Rumble guy. But Rumble is proving to be more impervious to this, and they are working towards the Rumble wallet, so that way through Rumble and locals you can exchange cryptocurrencies in a way that don't you talk about my barrel measure tape, okay? We don't. It was my mistake for having that out in the first place. I'm a fidgety guy, but yeah, Rumble. I've never been afraid to say I've never been afraid. The guests that I've had on, and like I said, they're going to be doing the Rumble wallet for you that you can exchange goods and services through a third party that doesn't require Visa and MasterCard.
And Magnificent Devil has a really good point here. I'm just going to point this out. I'm a historian. So it says, yeah, I'm sure a black market won't appear to undermine all those efforts this time. Let us not forget that in this country, the United States, they passed the law on prohibition that was prohibiting alcohol. And what happened? That led directly to the rise of the syndicate crime families and the mafia. Directly.
we control the Futanari racket in this town.
Exactly.
It also,
Exactly. If you cannot get it through legitimized means, you will find underground means to get it because somebody will provide it to you.
It's like, psst, hey,
Throw
you
the
want to
thing.
buy that hentai brother sister love story?
You want to buy some feet pics?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with like the war on drugs. You know what I mean? We've made all sorts of illicit drugs illegal for the longest time, and even in Idaho, right? Idaho, it's still illegal to buy pot, but where I live, it's a 15-minute trip over the border to get to the nearest head shop.
Yeah,
Buy it and then come back, and there's cops easily, state troopers,
troopers
that could just hang out there right at the border, and while it's against the law to go and buy pot and then bring it back over the border to Idaho, they're not stopping anybody. So
nice lucrative.
And I will give you two concrete examples of stuff like this happening here in Texas. There were two towns that both went dry where they could not sell alcohol in those places. Those were in Lubbock, Texas and Abilene, Texas. And what happened? Well, the group in Abilene actually broke off, bought a big patch of land, called it Impact, Texas, and the only thing that's there is a couple of liquor stores. And they made fortunes on it, and now those people live like kings. The liquor stores are shut down now. And in Lubbock's case, they put all the liquor stores outside the city limits. And if I recall correctly, I think there were actually some city officials that were involved in the ownership of those liquor stores. And of course, they got rich on that stuff. So, restriction actually causes criminality to rise.
I actually, I'll have to double check, sure, but last time I heard, in Northwest Arkansas alone, the majority of the local liquor stores, with the exception of a couple of the Macadoodle stores, are owned by the same family that we have.
Mm-hmm.
There was a speakeasy in El Paso, Texas, and it's a wonderful restaurant called L&J's, the old place by the graveyard. But back in old Fort Bliss, just next to El Paso, they had trained a donkey to walk across the desert with saddlebags with bottles of liquors in it that they would smack on the ass and let it walk across the desert. And the soldiers could get it, put treasures and money in it, and then it was trained to walk to and from the speakeasy / brewery and to the post, so that way soldiers can get liquor. And it took it's a story that they talk about quite a bit. They're very proud of it. Eventually the feds just had to sit there and watch the donkey make its trip back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, just because you make something illegal doesn't mean it's going to disappear. I mean, it's like, drugs are illegal, and yet we still have a drug problem. Certain types of firearms are illegal, and yet I'm pretty sure there's a few people out there in Texas who own a few of those things that they're not supposed to have. I don't know. I don't know anybody specifically. Okay, so FBI, don't come asking me. I don't know. I've never met anybody who have those things, but I'm sure they exist. I mean, maybe they have all the right permits. I don't know. I've never actually met anybody who owns a minigun, but I know people who own them.
As long as it's manufactured before 1986 and you pay the $300 tax, you can own it.
It's another thing.
There you go.
Who would have thought that the war on drugs would have ended with the drugs winning?
I just want to...
But, this is a question for Grim, because, like, how long is it? Because, if I understand correctly, a lot of this is, and I think I saw Edward talking about an AI summary saying that it might have something to do with Russia and Iran and stuff. But from what I was seeing, that it was a lot of stuff going on with UK law, and how long before your government, makes it illegal for you to talk about, the payment processing thing and what you can and can't buy, even advertising. When does your government say you can no longer do your Pimpinate Easy on your channel?
Who knows? But the thing is, it's from all sides. This legislation that only just came in started under Cameron's Conservative government. So 2010 they started drafting it. Nick Clegg, who now works for Facebook, I think, was leader of the Liberal Democrat Party, who were in coalition with them at the time. And now we've got Labour putting it into action, even though it's not their legislation, without really altering
putting it into action. It might as well be. I mean, if you're going to be the one that rubber stamps on an action, it might as well be too.
It was on a timer, basically. It had already passed. But they could have stopped it and chose not to stop it. So I think they hold.
Yeah, like I said, that's
plenty of responsibility.
That's like saying, well, I didn't want to arrest this guy, but I was told that I have to. It's like, well, that you still did it. You put your name on.
No, I agree. They hold a lot of responsibility for it. Governments that are leaving do a lot of things like this. They leave sort of landmine legislation set to go off during the next government's term. I just want to quickly talk about this executive order before we move on, because I expect T-Shirt wants to move on.
I do, but
a lot of people are saying that's like this big savior thing that's going to make a huge difference. I think that's optimistic. I mean, it is just an executive order. Is it enforceable? How long is it going to last before it's reversed? It is also extremely focused on the political side of debanking and withdrawal of services, and very much fixated on protecting the right wing, not the general sort of principle of free exchange and so on. And I don't think it's going to bite the credit card companies, because under Section 2 It says
Uh-oh.
banking decisions must instead be made on the basis of individualized, objective, and risk-based analyses. And now, when it comes to credit card companies refusing adult material, refusing potentially refusing Steam and so on, they will say it's due to risk inherent in those transactions and so on. So I think there's too many holes in this executive order. I would hope if it does get put into legislation, they make it more politically neutral and more fixed on the right of being able to, spend money freely on anything that's legal. That's what I would hope for.
So your first point, where it says that it's focused more on the right, it does use the January 6th and purchases from Cabela. It's using the operation. What did they say that operation was?
Choke point.
Yeah, Operation Choke Point. So it uses that as a basis, as a reason for why this executive order needs to be held. So there's a couple of things that I would really like to talk about. One, it says in here that any political or religious reason cannot be used to deny someone the ability to bank or to make economic decisions in order to participate in the economy, right?
Oh, so wait. Does this mean like I could protest the credit card companies letting me buy Pern, because I could say, well, then you're infringing on my religion, because my religion requires me to consume X amount of hours of Pern every week.
So being somebody who had to defend my right and had to get out of the military because of my own really weird religious beliefs. The only reason why I was able to use my own particular and very singular spirituality to affect the reason why I was able to get an honorable discharge while being able to say no to the vaccine was because I have diaries and notebooks for years, almost decades, that talk about who I am as a person and how I practice my faith. So it is a little bit harder to say like, oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster says that I can buy, video about murders and
yes.
The difference is that you have tons and tons of proof to back it up that could get past could get past it being laughed out of court.
But this does say that it is unlawful to use for protected beliefs, affiliations, political views, and ensure that politicized or unlawful debanking is not used as a tool to inhibit such beliefs. So it is very broad when it says that, yes, even if you say that you believe in child gender mutilation, that's covered in this. I don't have to like it or not. Just like buying guns. If somebody gets hurt with a gun, that we talked about this earlier. The banking institution is not responsible for that. It's the people who actually made that transaction. So the executive order is very broad in that it does protect everybody, not just the right. It just uses the right as the most recent example because we even saw it in Canada where the truckers were getting debanked. We watched as not only were their bank accounts shut down and they had no access to funds, but sites like GoFundMe and others were also required not only to not give the people the intended target the funding that they raised, but also I don't believe that they gave the money back to the people who donated to those causes either, which is particularly insidious. And then the rest of the executive order gives harsh windows, the longest one being 180 days, to allow financial institutions to either argue the point that it was a risk benefit, because you're right, there is the risk when we have international banks that a bank institution can say, well, we're not going to invest in this opportunity because it's not going to work in the UK or it's not going to work in India. The only place it's going to work in America, and we just don't think there's enough return on investment to accept that risk. You're absolutely right. But like we were saying earlier, so long as that bank, if they continue to deny loans or deny people the opportunity to bank with them, they're going to lose that business, which allows other banks to rise up. And so long as the people are not subsidizing the banks for their inability to understand risk management and invest their money smartly, then they deserve to fail, which allows other banks to go up. And let's face it, that's going to fix a lot more problems than a lot of other things. You know, for all the people out there who talk about, you know, the Rothschilds or whatever, and who owns the banks, it's like, well, if you want to fix that problem, then let them fail because they want to make bad business decisions.
Yeah. It's a red shield. They're causing all the wars, and they control both sides of everything.
Right?
I've heard about that. Savo actually has the same idea. She has the same idea. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go move to an Indian reservation in order to be able to enjoy anything anymore. You know, I mean, you know, all my Lamentations of the Flame Princess books are going to be having to go to, you know, the reservation in Oklahoma or Arizona or something. I don't know.
Go find out why the natives refer to the Bureau of Indian Affairs as the bossing Indians around bureau.
No kidding.
I'm thinking
about moving there just to avoid having to pay state sales tax.
Well,
I'm just remembering that Peter Pan song, the "What Makes the Red Man Red" from the movie.
Sacagawea his feet. No, Savo. Oh my gosh!
Quick, change the channel.
Brother, ew.
All right. Well, okay. I didn't bring Yang on to listen to this for an hour because I love the man and I love his work. So even though we're over our hour, let's go ahead and get into Yang's work because I brought him on here to talk about Empire of the Dying Sun.
Woohoo!
Empire of the Undying Sun.
The Undying Sun. My apology.
No worries.
Here we go.
This
looks good.
Thank you. Empire of the Undying Sun is a horror campaign guide. I ran a campaign last year for the 5e version. This year we're doing second chance for 5e, but we're also adding a 1e version.
Okay.
It was, I kind of got tired of people saying, well, you can't do horror in 5e. And I said, yes, you can. You just have to change a few things around. So it was always meant to feel like a 1E game, a 1E game system, but using 5E rules and some alternative rules and whatnot. And we sort of redefine things like, for example, I always found the astral plane really boring. It's just like another plane with clouds everywhere. So I said, no, it's going to be the dream realm. And so you have a chance to enter it with your friends and whatnot. And maybe there's going to be something there that's haunting your dreams. Or maybe the party can go Freddy Krueger and go haunt somebody else's dreams. So we've got that. We've got sort of bringing it back a bit and getting rid of most of the 5e 2024 changes. We've got changes to getting rid of death saving throws and some other changes that aren't in the preview that I sent, but redoing dark vision so it doesn't suck, and things like that.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. I got to point this out really quick on this map. This is awesome, dude. Let me point. And y'all are gonna go, oh, T-shirt. You're being such a nerd. But you see this here where the number 4 is? You see how those fields are laid out? That's actually historically medieval because they used crop rotation. And that's what a crop rotated field would look like in medieval times. I know, but that's so cool that somebody paid attention to this detail.
Thank you. They press R each time before they paste the field in, is what you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
You need that one scene from, I think, what was it, Nerds versus Jocks, where the guy is digging at the top of the frat house just going, nerd!
That was Revenge of the Nerds. But hey,
Revenge of
these
the
are
Nerds.
your
I forgot
people.
the movie. So
These are your people we're making fun of, Grim. So.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only
Not a
one doing
medieval
stuff
peasant.
for 5e 2014 and not 5e 2024. I'm using OGL 5 the 5.1 for my book. I've based everything on or the SRD 5.1 rather than going through 5.2, and I'm still using the OGL 1.1a that it's under. So, of course, my book also has 3.5 stuff and first/second edition stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Bringing back a lot of that old stuff is really the way to fix up a lot of the issues with 5e.
Yes. This actually feels like a historically cromulent setting, though. I mean, the fact that one of the random finds in the deep woods you can find is an ancient bronze weapon. And I might remind people that even in England right now, people are still finding old, like Sutton Hoo era things or like relics, like coins or axe heads or whatever out in, these wild places in England. That's cool.
Well, thank you. So part of the idea with this whole book is, there's always that debate between a game on rails or a total sandbox. And so I designed it so that if you say, you know what, I'm really busy, I don't have any time to go looking into things and whatnot, you could play this through like you would a Dragonlance game. Or you can say, no, screw that. We're going total sandbox. You can do that, but because there's a calendaring system, because I'm bringing that back too, as long as you keep the dates straight, you could do anything you want. Like if there's events described in the main timeline here that, let's say, happen in the starting area of South Bay, and your party is out of the town at the time, that's fine. Those events still happen, and it's some other party that does whatever it does. Like there's an elvish cult that is attacking the town guard and trying to kill nobles. So if you're not there at that time to save them, that's cool. Some other group does, and then they get all the glory, assuming they're successful in saving them. So I try to give people the ability to really use the campaign guide either as directly a direct storyline or just a setting that they can inhabit.
I like that approach.
Thank you. So for me, it's usually somewhere in the middle that I like things.
And these illustrations are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So I started working on this probably 2017, but I really started working on harder in 2019. So I was able to get some great artists before AI made everything questionable.
Oh, no.
So it's not quite 100% done yet. It's probably about 80% done, with the exception of I'm hoping to get a lot more art with the funding from the campaign here. And so I want this to be packed absolutely full.
But I think one of the cool things about this current project, something that we don't see from a lot of creators, is this book is written. All 115 pages of it is written, and so I really appreciate, like you're at the point in the creation where you want to make the book present better, not necessarily make a book or hope that you can make a book from the Kickstarter. So I, seeing a finished product that just needs a little bit more of a bow wrapped on it, just makes me as a person more likely to back something.
Thank you.
And we do need a link to that too.
Oh, yes. So there are two places. Let me see all. The Kickstarter directly is right there, or if you go to www.empireoftheundyingsun.com, you can get on the mailing list where you can also there's a VIP package. So along with the campaign guide, there's also optional adventure modules that go in the setting, and they happen sort of in between adventures in the timeline. So I'm writing probably about half, and then I'm having guest writers do the other half. So far, the Dungeon Delver has turned in 3. So if you go to empireoftheundyingsun.com, and for $3, you can get his first adventure module, Fairy Hill. Plus, you'll get colored tokens that you can use in any virtual tabletop, or they're the correct size that you can print out on. They sell like those little wooden nickels you can use for actual tabletop play, and a poster.
Nice.
Man, I'm just loving this, man. I really love it. I mean, it does have kind of an old school feel, but it's really nice and clean and easy to read. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
I'm just excited for it. I think Dungeons and Dragons is inherently a horror game, so hearing that there's fantasy horror stuff out there makes me excited. But I actually have to get going, so hopefully Aries can hop in and take my spot. But I'm gonna bid you guys adieu. Thank you so much for having me, T-shirt. Love you guys.
See you, Patty.
Take care, Patty.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. And we do have a copy of the other. Let's see. Might as well go ahead and show it off. Give Bill a little credit. Bill, the Dungeon Delver. Nice guy. I like him.
So I will definitely have more people guest writing in the world, but I'm kind of saving those until I see how much I can afford with this Kickstarter. Yeah, it's a nice cover by Peter Gilmore for Fairy Hill.
Yeah, I like that. And it's tasteful.
Yes. I told him if Frank Frazetta could do it, you can do it.
Wow. Yeah, this does feel like a Dungeon Delver adventure now with the magic mouse and stuff, because it's kind of like he uses the spell stuff more than anybody I know. But he knows that system really well. I mean, he plays first edition all the time.
Yeah. He's actually the one who's going to be translating the campaign guide from 5e to 1e for me.
Oh, okay.
I have played 1e, but I kind of thought like, nah, if you're gonna spend the time to actually have a 1e version, you got to make sure all the little things are right with it. And so I was like, all right, if there's anybody who's a stickler for what's good in 1e, it's got to be Bill.
Mm-hmm. The guy who's literally writing a program on how to run 1e D&D.
Yes.
Yes.
Man, I think this is. Oh my God, we've got Greg. Oh my God, Greg, it's good to see you.
What's up?
Hey, you missed the crazy credit card conversation, but glad you're here, bud.
Shit.
Yeah,
I missed it.
You did. And yes, I have my copy of Titans of Fallen Earth. I don't have the book. I mean, the physical book, but damn, the PDF looks sweet.
Oh, thanks.
So modest.
What are we talking about?
We were looking at Yang's new Kickstarter, which let me go ahead and hop over to that page. I got to do the entire screen thing, so I'm going to get to the woo thing. But yeah, this is it right here. And there we go.
Yep. I have it notified for me as well for the launch as well.
Awesome.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ohio, that doesn't exist.
I just clicked to be notified.
Same here. So a 450 plus page horror fantasy campaign for 5e and 1e with dreamwalking, wargaming, talent trees, and a shifting mega dungeon. And I will take a note. that you had your fantasy races and stuff in the one book, and actually they didn't look like seriously overpowered.
No, I wanted them. So 2014 5e, when that came out, I think it was a pretty good medium. I do have some races that are there, but all the races in the world are pretty much humanoid. You're not going to find tieflings or Asimar or goblins or whatever those elephant people are.
Excuse me, sir. Don't you mean ancestries? I think you're
Ancestries. My stapler. It's my stapler.
And boo on not having tieflings, because I have to be the one person out of the group that likes tieflings.
I mean, I like tieflings, but you know,
I don't have a problem with them. I just think that they've been abused, co-opted, and otherwise perverted by. Yeah, I hate to use. Well, no, I don't hate to use the term by tourists who come in 5e.
Yeah.
Let's just face it, okay? They're extremely over-sexualized.
Well, and logically, they would be hunted out of existence.
I would think so, or at least they'd be extremely rare instead of like full parties of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the campaign guide, I actually mentioned, these are the official races that are in there. Anything else will be very rare. If somebody really wants to play it, you can allow them to do it. So in one of my test groups, I had two people, they really, really wanted to play tieflings. And I told them, okay, but you do understand that if people find tieflings in their town, they're going to think they're demons and try to murder them. So they ended up with some magical items that disguised themselves as humans, but it always failed at dawn and dusk. And there were a couple of times that they got chased out of town by a mob, and one of them died that way. But so I think that there's ways that you can include it, but don't make it too comfortable.
Yes.
Well, I always play tieflings as lawful evil because it just feels right. So they always have their own agendas usually.
Well, the long and short of it is, if you look at tieflings all the way up until 5e, and you look at the way they're described, it's like they have very minor things like a very slight hue or unnatural eye color or small horns. And these idiots are like, I'm purple and I have a long tail and I have giant horns and I have hooved feet, but I'm super sexy. It's like, you're not a tiefling, jackass. You're a halfling.
OSC did it best with having the table you just roll twice on for what you got. Like, I think I made one tiefling for an OSC game I'm in, and I just rolled that he had horns and hooves, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like an ancestry. Somebody in your lineage had sex with a succubus. Not like your mom was one.
Well, it's like there's plenty of people out there who 15 generations ago had like a Middle Eastern person in their family tree, or even like a Central African Congolese person.
You mean
family tree? And
I actually do have a Middle Eastern ancestry in my family tree.
Caster, turn your camera on.
There's no black at all in this person.
I was like, yeah, Caster, turn your camera on, man. Let them see what a real Indian looks like. See?
Well, that's what makes a red man red. The whiteness.
See? Yeah, exactly. It's like, if I saw him walking down the street, the last thing I would think of is, he must be a member of the tribe.
It's like he's sorry he left his headset. He left his headdress at home.
Yeah, exactly.
I have an ancestor on the Dawes roll.
The what?
So, the Dawes roll
for Indians.
Okay, right. I've never heard that before. So
you need to go to history class, bud.
Yeah. So, to long story short,
I did, but it was an American history class.
This is American history.
Yes.
Long story short, the tribes have their memberships on what they call rolls, and they'll either be open or closed, depending on if they're willing. Basically, depending on if they need political power, and so they want to increase the membership.
Yeah, and I was about to say, Planescape was when Tieflings were introduced in 2nd edition.
Yeah, they were never in the central rules. That didn't come until later, 5th edition. I don't even think they weren't even in the central rules in 4th edition. Not that I remember that much about 4th edition. I've largely managed to block most of that out of my head.
Well, there's a reason why I don't use 4th edition in my rule set.
Sorry, Daniel, what'd you say?
I said, I just want to know when like micro bikini and thong became part of their fucking racial equipment.
Yeah, I mean, well, as soon as the
comes factory with the class.
I mean, as soon as the femboys wanted to show off their anatomy.
Anyways, what were you trying to say, John?
I was going to say there's a reason why 4th edition isn't in my rule set, even though I have every other generation of D&D involved. Because fuck 4th edition.
Yeah. Now,
it's an abomination of GNS.
Yeah, now on the plus side, I wouldn't mind seeing more of Grimm's game ladies dressing up like tieflings. It's okay there. I mean, I'm good with that. That's the way you should see tieflings, in my opinion. And any other way is wrong.
In 4K.
That's an ulterior motive.
I especially like it when they put their feet next to the camera. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm still on that, aren't I? I can't help it, guys. It's too good of a joke not to,
She has extra long toes from Greg.
Yes. Oh, she has monkey toes. I pay extra for that.
She got them gripper slippers.
That's right, baby. She works out. She picks up pictures with her feet, with her toes.
You should see the letter she writes.
Yeah. Now, I have actually seen artists who do all their artwork with their feet, and I don't remember what the art was afterward, but I do remember them doing it with their feet. Anyway. Anyway. All right, so Yang, that is your Kickstarter that's going up. It looks awesome. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I can't wait till it launches. Do you have an idea for when the release date is going to be? The launch date?
Yeah, October 1.
Nice.
Right in time for Spook Month.
There you go. How long is the campaign going to run? The whole month, or?
Yeah, the whole month, and then see how much I have to spend on what, and finish it up. Hopefully, we'll get a lot more art, and I'll get some good people to write some more adventure modules to go with it. And I'm hoping, because it's the campaign guide itself is probably about 80% done now. So I'm hoping I'll have it all done pretty much by the end of the year. And then once I get the art in at the beginning of next year, go to print sometime in the spring or summer, and then send it on out.
Maybe you can get some Savo pieces in there, because I'm sure everybody would be so upset to see Feifel the Twit show up in the adventure at some point.
You never know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, y'all have any other comments? Greg, you popped in, man. Did you have anything for us, or?
Oh no, I just wanted to hang out for a minute. I thought y'all ran till 7 though.
Well, it's 5:30 right now, but I will show this off because it's awesome. Just to kind of give Greg a few props for being here, and maybe he can, I don't know, hype up his stuff a little bit, since
in a world where one man.
No, go, keep going.
No. Sorry, no.
You're no fun. So yeah, this is Greg's project, which I got a copy of now. Yeah.
It's a Kaiju RPG.
Yes.
Where can I get this?
Drive for RPG. I saw some of the early stuff I had been releasing about it, and it was like dated 2022. I can't believe I've been working on this for 3 years.
Yeah, and I just want to draw special attention to this back here. It's like, I didn't get a special thanks. I mean, I was hyping your stuff too. But, okay.
No, you don't get a special thanks, you fucker.
Okay. All right. But you want to talk about some beautiful looking artwork, man. This I love the design of this because it's like not only is everything striking to look at, but it's very clear as far as all of the text. And
Yeah,
it does have enough artwork to be
I like the font
really cool.
choices.
every chapter has a unique visual identity. No chapter looks like another one. It's all based on theme.
This is good game design,
Nice.
The bestiary, every kaiju in the bestiary has full page art. It's awesome.
man. I think we're moving towards it. Yeah, there we go.
Got the Japanese there and everything.
I love this. I love this so much. I can't wait to play this. Grim, when can we play this?
When I get my hard copy.
Okay, that's fair. I'm waiting on mine too. So
That's gonna be a while.
I think Castor will join us for that one.
I'm just reading
It's
Seven's
gonna
comment. Cthulhu versus Lizzo.
I'd love to join, but it's going to depend on the week for me just because Sundays I have other games going on too.
This is just the kaiju. I mean, the mecha are really, really, really cool.
Yeah,
And it's all D6.
kaiju versus mecha stuff.
Yeah, the mecha, everything is D6 and it's got like exploding D6s.
It ended up being more crunchy than I expected it to be, but that's okay. That's cool.
I love these size comparisons. And then got the the Statue of Liberty in the background just for comparison.
Those are all playable classes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious. Obviously, your game took a lot of inspiration from various kaiju anime and shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kaiju falls into the greater kaijin?
That'd be
Well,
Godzilla.
that would be like your Godzilla right there.
Okay, that would be your Godzilla. All right.
A lesser one would be kind of like the Cloverfield monster.
I hate that monster.
Yeah, each chapter or each faction has its own unique mechs and titans that you can construct with their own charts of special powers and abilities and things like that.
I would have had you on for like a full episode, but I wasn't even sure if you were going to be able to make it. So I'm glad you made it just so we can talk about it. And I got this to talk about.
I would have made it to talk about that. Guarantee
Okay.
that.
Okay. I might do it whenever we get the actual book and Grim has a copy too.
Yeah, I'm still getting screwed by tariffs. My printer and the distributor is super scared. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to mark you up 40% because of Trump," and I'm like, "Oh, well, I can't really afford that, so I guess it's gonna have to wait."
Is the PDF for sale somewhere?
Oh yeah, it's on Director RPG.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to post a link to it, I'll put it up in the chat.
Because you've got a sale now.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Surely-
and there's a
surely you
compliment
follow
for
me.
Yang.
Do you follow me for Twitter?
Thank you.
No, I don't think so.
Well, maybe you should.
I agree.
All right, I'm gonna post it in the chat. El Chato.
Put it in the
Oh, that's not
private.
going to work. I'm going to have to go in the private chat.
Sorry.
There we go.
Look at all the cool stuff. See, today wasn't totally negative, and that's what I always shoot for. Is like, we try to get a little positive. We may have to get all the crap out of the hose to begin with, but
Yeah.
we end on a positive note usually on this show.
Already added it in my cart.
Oh, thank you.
you go.
I mentioned this in the Kickstarter, but my one design foible that I wish I could go back and change is that the charts are not. I mean, some of them, the further on you go, the better they're organized, but the early ones are not organized very well at all. And the reason why is because in design, physically, there is no way to organize them or sort them with the way that we did it. Like, I've tried macros, I've tried third-party programs. They cannot be sorted. So they are what they are.
The kaijin stuff sounds neat to me just because it's like
You recognize that guy right there. That's NPC. Homage to Carl Weathers.
yeah, the one guy on the left is Carl Weathers, the guy on the right is Solid Snake.
Yeah.
And then that is Kiefer Sutherland there on the right. I don't know who that is on the left though.
That's a
Just random.
checkbox.
That's a checkbox.
That's not a checkbox.
Oh no, that's not Michael Ironside. No.
No.
I wish you could have gotten him to do the VO.
He wanted $35,000.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I messaged him.
yeah, I know. Sorry.
That's okay.
I wish you could have gotten him though. Wouldn't it have been nice?
Got
That's okay.
Evangelion influenced stuff, Pacific Rim in there. Every type of kaiju mecha thing imaginable is represented in this book.
Of course,
That's what
the
I
next
love
step is
about
to
it.
get the next step is to get some STLs together.
Oh yeah. What's going on the miniature front on that?
I have 3 designs for 3 of the most iconic kaiju in the book that one of the artists did for me to make acrylic standees out of. I just haven't figured out a way of like doing that yet.
Who could you talk to do actual STLs?
I mean, I've got the guy who did all of our fantasy Iries STLs, but he wants $500 per to generate those, and I'm like, I don't think so.
I mean, depending on if the orders are big enough, I would guess. But.
I mean, I don't want to make any money off them at all. I don't care. I'll give it to whoever wants to make it, and they can sell it. I don't care. I just want people to have it.
Well, if you came out with the kaiju miniatures, I'd have to buy a bigger printer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a skill-based system. There's backgrounds, which are kind of like classes that give you special abilities, and you can mix and match your skills to, instead of your class defining what skills you get, you choose a class, and then if your skills match the prerequisites, then you qualify. So it's kind of the other way around.
The show wasn't depressing. It was pedestrian. Hint, hint. Ha, 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 ha. Oh my gosh. Well, I like it. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to hold the physical copy in my hands and rifle through all 242 pages of it. It's going to be sweet. And it's going to be heavy too.
I'm going to print some vanity copies, like 6 or 7 of them. Maybe I'll get one out to you if you want to show it off.
Nice. And I do love these little pieces.
Propaganda posters.
Propaganda pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
Earth needs you.
And yes, you do get that little story in front. And you know what this reminds me of? The first role-playing game I ever saw do this, and I'm probably wrong. There were probably other ones that did it too, but I remember White Wolf doing this for like Werewolf the Apocalypse, having a little comic book in the front.
Yeah, that was my idea. It's like, well, I'm just gonna stick a whole comic book in there. Why not?
Why not? Dude, I love it. I can't wait, man. It'll be awesome. And y'all need to go get you a copy too if you don't already have it. Grim, you got a copy?
Yeah, he backed it.
No, he backed
Yeah,
it too. Daniel, you did too, right?
Soundtrack too, I think.
Sorry, what again?
Daniel, you probably don't play no kaiju games, do you?
I do not play any kaiju games, but I may have to go take a peek. See.
Yeah, it's finding the correct audience for this has been a challenge, to be sure. Because it's really my vanity project. It's not, not everyone wants to run out and play a kaiju game. Kaiju versus mecha.
Now the real trick is if you can get the BattleTech crowd on board with this.
I was on Dundermoose already, bashing the shit out of Lancer and making fun of all the Lancer players. So like, Dundermoose backed it, and hopefully he'll like it once he takes a look at it.
I tried to read through Lancer and it was crap.
But what would be the big sell point is if you can find somebody who is crafty enough to take all of the battle mech designs from Mech Warrior or something like that and translate them into legally definable and distinct copies that could be used in the kaiju game. That would be cool. I mean, I'd like to see my Warhammer go up against King Kong or something.
I mean, the framework in the book exists for you to make a kaiju or a mech of any possible kind, except
Mhm.
for like the really silly like 1970s stuff that you guys like the Matzinger Z and the
Yeah.
Transformer. It's not really designed for that. It's more kind of serious and a little bit more down to earth.
Oh, so I can't do like Ambassador Magma.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have combiners. It doesn't have transformers. That type of stuff.
So
That's
I won't
for
be
the
able to
next
play
edition.
Omega Supreme.
What's that?
I won't be able to play Omega Supreme.
No, you can't play Omega Supreme.
Okay, but that's for the next book, right? That's for the add-on book, right?
No, it's not for
Right.
the add-on book.
No.
He's
I'm
bringing
pretty sure.
aliens.
I'm pretty sure I heard you say, yeah, it's in the add-on. It's coming in the add-on book. Pretty
The
sure I heard
add-on,
you say
the
that.
add-on is going to be strictly Terminator influenced.
Okay, well that's cool too. But you really could use like an add-on book just for mecha that can do things like change or triple combine or things like that. Come on. I mean,
No,
you're leaving money on the table.
the line must be drawn here.
Some people you just can't wave enough dollars in front of them. They just won't do it.
If I really wanted dollars, I'd put ponies in the fucking game.
Well, I mean that's an option.
They're the you
Or
just start
tieflings.
appealing to the furries.
I already have plenty of stuff that appeals to them. I don't need anything else.
I mean, if I could find a way to put the pretty derby Musume ponies in it, I would.
You're the reason why the internet is being banned. T-shirt.
I know.
Get kicked by Gold Ship.
Hey, you got like 80-year-old Japanese guys out there drawing in their favorite horse girls and stuff. So I'm not that bad. And I actually caught Ralts playing it the other day. So serious. I looked. We're Steam buddies, so I looked over and he's got Pretty Derby Musume up, and I'm just like, Ralts?
What?
At 2 Raw.
But it is free to play, so But all right, let's. We've had a long show today, but I just wanted to have a little bit of comedy before we left, so I thought I'd drop this one on you. As you guys know, somebody threw an inappropriate object at a WNBA game, and I thought I would bring out the coach's comments on it.
Things onto the court. Obviously, you guys know what the object is. And I just want to comment. This has been going on for centuries. The sexualization of women. This is the latest version.
Guys, this isn't funny. Don't laugh.
It's not funny. And it should not be the butt of jokes on any radio shows or in print or in any comments. The sexualization of women is what's used to hold women down. And this is no different. This is just its latest form. And we should write about it in that way. And these people that are doing this should be held accountable. And not
Why is it still going? It just keeps going. I'm expecting it to stop some more. It just kept going and going and going, and that thing's just still flopping away there.
Talk about
Like
the
people
Star
watching
Sound
WNBA
effect. Wow.
ticket sales go down. It just keeps
Well-
going and going and going.
I mean, I halfway. The concession sellers are going to have like a selection that you can buy and to throw in the games.
Some betting sites have actually been now taking bets on which color and which day that a object is going to get thrown onto the basketball court now.
Oh
It
my
is
God.
nice that, from what I've seen, the action on dildos being thrown on WNBA courts is actually higher than the action on WNBA games.
I mean,
People are betting more on the over-under of, not just the over-under of if, but the over-under of when an object vibrates at center court than whether or not somebody wins the game.
I mean, okay. Now I know that it's inappropriate, and of course, the sports girls don't like it. But at the same time, if I were the
At the same time,
WNBA,
they play WNBA. Like, no one actually cares about it. It's just there to be a participation trophy.
well, see, this is the thing. I would lean into that and actually make it more part of the game and not disallow it. Because I mean, like, yes, I know it's crude, it's vulgar, and it's disruptive, but at the same time, if you get more people watching or attending the games in order to do that, then why just lean into it, man?
And everybody just bitched and moaned.
Okay.
I mean,
the reality of the
ticket sales are
situation
like
is that
400% when she's on the court.
the reality of the situation is the WNBA is a placeholder that no one actually cares about. It's just the harsh truth of it is that it is a joke of a sport. No one is going to take it serious when the NBA is right there. It is never going to be as good.
Nobody really cared about it until Caitlin Clark.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because of this, all you have to do is look at the ESPN top 10 on SportsCenter. If it's basketball, it's one of two things: somebody draining a ridiculous three, or somebody dunking. Two things that don't happen in the WNBA. And it's not just women. You see this in motorsports too. F1, multi-million dollars, movie deals, people packing out stands. F2, I might watch it if I get there early on F1 day. It's because we want to see people doing things that are extreme and top shelf and elite, not people who are doing something that's like high school boys level.
So in the WNBA, in the entirety of it, there have been a total of 37 dunks.
What?
That's a weekend in the NBA.
Yeah, it is.
For all the years of the WNBA, there have only been 37. And I think like 20 of those have been with Caitlin Clark.
It's like Futurama said, we know can't dunk, but have good fundamental.
It's literally that Family Guy skit. It's that Family Guy skit where the two guys are commenting on the women's basketball game, and they're like, I don't know, why don't we just ask the fan? And it turns to an empty stand with just one person going, yay!
Yay!
Grim, you're strangely quiet on this, but
sport, an American sport at that. I know nothing.
Okay, good point.
I did read somewhere they were talking about actually closing the games to fans to stop dildos from being thrown.
So they're going to actually increase their viewership by doing that.
Yeah.
It went up when we closed the doors. We didn't allow free tickets for friends and family anymore.
Let's stop them at fans. Let's stop at fans. Like, we have to have those first.
That'll make it like forbidden fruit, So since you're not allowed to, then people might want to watch it.
Yeah, that
so and we might actually be able to afford. It might be able to actually justify its own existence.
Well, that was funny because when they came out on the court with the "pay us what you owe" shirt or whatever, a lot of people came out and was like, "Oh, then by cast, let's question numbers. You actually owe us money then, because so much has been sucked into you."
Oh well,
that's why I hate the WNBA. It is a money sink that is there just to make women feel good about themselves when no one actually cares about it.
I have to admit, I'm a fan of women's roller derby. That's pretty awesome. Although, darn those girls. When they fall, it's like they come home bruised all over the hips and everything. Pretty bad. All right, guys.
That's not trying to act as though it's like as good as like a male version. That is its own thing. That is predominantly women.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Anyway, shall we close up for the day? I'm sure Grimm's back is screaming at him, and he still has a game to run tonight.
Actually, I think we're not playing tonight because.
Okay, let's go for 4 more hours and then let Grim scream.
But yes, I do need to go.
All right. So thanks for being out.
Thanks for coming out here today, everybody. I can't talk.
That's all right, Jordan.
Are we gaming tomorrow?
As far as I know, we're going to be playing Ashes Without Number tomorrow, and I've got spots open if people want to join, or otherwise, you just come by and watch us. Perhaps if we get lucky, we can watch somebody throw a flashbang into an oxygenated room again. That was fun.
Thanks a lot.
That happened. Anyway. All right. Y'all take care and have a great week at Geek.
Bye.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.